Honourable members, I acknowledge the presence of the member and staff of the Bougainville House of Representatives present in the Speaker's Gallery and the citizen from Mulbaya district and the constituents from Kandiboru United Reformed Church, Central Province, present in the public gallery. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend them a very warm welcome. Petitions, notices, oral members, question time. The member for the inquiry.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, bona daba namona. Laudas na nila ni Mr. Speaker. I must acknowledge Penakara, the constituents from Kadabara United Reformed Church and the Mural Gigini. My dear Maina Tarwa Badana. Eguena na dai na motoi bananim. And then they be motoi do lahinia. Interpreter, if you're here, you can take charge of this dialogue. So I will jump in and out, and you will follow my questions for the benefit of those, funny too. Standing order is behind him. Standing order 51 talk no can disturb. So you may got line him standing orders. But thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Lagunende Asena Hadibaya Bialao, Minister for Energy, Honorable Peter Namia Soimo, and thank you to the Prime Minister for recognizing Mr. Soimo's longevity in politics and honoring with this with the privilege to serve as a Minister of State for his people of Papua New Guinea. Question Bene Bamona. Some time ago, Mr. Speaker, letter idea 23 March 2023, what appeared just idea Toraya to some landowners in Suriname. And this paves the way for a conversation relating to benefit sharing. A similar conversation ensued in 2023, Mr. Speaker, subsequent to a power lockdown and water shutdown by Suriname, Rona, Sogeri, and Hogeri landowners. I likened an equally important conversation on benefit sharing also arises for people of Narrow Brown catchment area, or Mount Quarry landowners. Edebu plant where the 52 megawatt power station now thrives. And on that launching, the Prime Minister was present with a number of state ministers and members of parliament. We stood at the foot of the dam. I asked everybody to pick up a rock because that was the last time they were going to see that the base of that valley, which is now covered by water. A lifestyle they have enjoyed for many years will no longer be the same. Same could be said for the people of Suriname in the 1960s or 1950s, when the dam was created. Villages were moved and shifted across to the ridges of the mountain where this current village is now situated. Lifestyles have changed. They no longer see life as they formerly knew. All in the name of development, Mr. Speaker. In one particular area, this our country and our governments have fumbled to address. We have been dealing with this issue on an ad hoc basis since 2014 even up to now, and a certain NEC decision remains outstanding, or parts of it has been completed. And this is the first time, perhaps, a good Minister of State from Central Province and quite rightly so, because apart from Yonki and other areas, I think it's a very important portfolio that the good Minister has been given. This will cover also not just the base of power sources or water source, but even the reticulation and distribution in the case of power and reticulation in the case of water. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask through the Chair, to the Minister, if this government has any plans to conduct a national content forum as contemplated by Section 80 of the National Energy Authority Act.
Honourable Member, your question is directed to...
My question, Mr. Speaker, is directed to the Minister for Energy, Honourable Peter Nameai Soimo, member for Kairuku also.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my sincere apologies. Past time through me been talk Mr. Lomoto, so you know been harem. Usa through me ask him go long. So just let me understand. Thank you. Lord Islas, Mr. Speaker, I'm number one ask him. Number two ask him, suppose government got plan law, Holium Development Forum or National Content Forum. Lo karama pi molis la papagrami tok longol osemol land law sogeri sirunumu rona hogeri one time on narrow brown catchment area one time medevu you can organize him some suppose you got plan law holim slakaro forum or nogat and number one. Number two, suppose you got plan law holim slakan sinaw no forum law come up him cutting pig good long all people blow you me suppose you got some money mark where close to approximately 10 million of slakain money about slip about lo nice lo budget you karam kam na apaste lo 2026. So minister can make him this la work. Na two, no this la ask him like talk thank you na. Suppose good la minister can give some la guidance or so him brought lo this la ask him lo me. And that's all. Thank you, na. Harim Layumi.
Honourable members, before me, Special Minister Tok just law clear him. You may got plenty members like to ask him question. So time you ask him question, you go straight to point. Now you ask him question. Now all ministers time you back him log point. Suppose you some background belong, all question belong you na ministers you answer him all background belong, back him belong you, and by time so me give him talk savetasul or some members come long point na you may can let him all members ask him question. Minister for Energy.
Thank you, brother, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Laura member tauna na ena na dai lau haloa mo tu rekenai interpret the taude idea no nekenai do idea to na mono so io National Energy Authority ena tarawatu henonai be benefit sharing be up to 5% allowed on free carry equity on a shareholding any annual tau dia rekena. So yes, I have already been directed by Tauguna Prime Minister. Yaura be number one edevu sharing benefit sharing I hato namonamo on request by President for Koyari local level government, the Honorable Willie Vave. So in a work in progress. Ayura developer, PNG Hydro Dam, I Haribaya, Mr. Alan Gwawa, I Haribaya, Kamane na ura bona tanma dia ura hegerena. In accordance with NEA Act, doya badinaya. For Yonki bona Sirinomu, there are a lot of legacy issues, and so I will have to bring a cabinet submission to be discussed at NEC, and NEC will direct on the next course of action. But I think, in short, that answers your question. Thank you.
Okay. We have a supplementary member. Ministers, you cannot ask a supplementary. All ministers, you can't ask the question. Honourable Minister, what is your point of order?
Very simple. The Motu is a recognized language, but Pidgin is also recognized. Do we have assistant speaker to you, and clerk take note? Do we have interpreters inside or not?
Honourable Minister, your point of order is in order. We have your point of order is in order, and we take note. We have Minister, you can resume your chair. I'll make a ruling of your point of order. Order. Honourable Minister, your point of order is in order. We have a translator. The old system was changed, so Mipla work long. Picture now by me by God. So I'm work in progress, so me talk away. Thank you. Honourable Minister, what is your point of order?
My point of order, in addition to the question for Eri, my good honourable member, Mila Gadim Law, Minister of Energy, as the Minister of Commerce, I just want to clarify, Mila clear me as a Minister of Commerce and part of the workflow is post-template. So I just want to clear.
Honourable Minister, resume your seat. Honourable Minister, you can resume your seat. Your point of order is out of order. I think we make him clear law, Chair, some Minister, by applying on up law. Ask him question. Minister, allow him long, ask him question, or standing order, allow him long, ask him question, or any supplementary. Honourable Governor for Morobe.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Thank you, Luxavelo, people of Morobe. Assistant Speaker, my question without notice and address law. Minister of International Trade, the Special Economic Zone, na Minister of Civil Aviation can take note. Assistant Speaker, me to thank you, government, gift me pla Najab Tomarashi International Airport, which has been ongoing work in one or two previous government, and the completion of that work has been a legacy project for the Marco Rosso government. And we have a beautiful piece of asset that's sitting there at the Najab land. Unfortunately, Mr. Assistant Speaker, we come to believe that it's underutilized because currently at this stage, it's just taking domestic flights. There's no additional infrastructures on the ground. It's just a terminal and the support services that give support to the airport was stopped. Now, recently, Minister of International Trade making a statement last time that is looking to work with provincial governments, local leaders, on expanding the Nadzab airport into what he envisions to be a special economic zone and a city, using funding that's different models in PPP, people from outside. Now, Mr. Assistant Speaker, my question is one, Mr. Assistant Speaker, truly you, Minister, how would that partnership be looking like for us at the provincial government level? At this time, airport them just have nothing, and there's about 1,000 hectares of land sitting there, state list under NAC. So, Minister, I welcome your statement some weeks ago on your initiative to work in partnership with local members, including the provincial administration. Now, what does that mean in your announcement to work with us on that particular project? Number two, ask him for you as well, and the Minister for Civil Aviation can take notice that, Mr. Assistant Speaker, in the Civil Aviation Act, Section 133 also allows provincial governments to take control, run, manage and develop airports as well. Now, that is a separate question, but is it part of that initiative that you're looking at a hybrid system, managing and developing airports so that there can be, it can be a business hub instead of just taking domestic flights as it stands now? Now, number three, people of provincial government regular work want them you. Na department blue want them civil aviation department as well. And that partnership, how will it look like for us so that, Mr. Assistant Speaker, we just don't be bystanders. We at the provincial level and the provincial government and the people of Morobe must have a stake in this type of projects. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Minister for Civil Aviation. Sorry, Minister for Trade and Commerce, International Trade.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Na milag talk thank you long. Nubla Governor Morobe, the one very important question. You may also survey that the plan of government is for Nadzab to become a city. Now, our late Governor I announced him also, and by moving seat of government from Leh to Nadzab. Now, member also mean a minister also mean me one belt through. However, history of showing most of governments are total working city, but we haven't built one city since independence. Central and stop yet. Now you meet total on Nadzab. To build an airport city will cost you billions and billions of kina. You mean no got money to build him. The experience, Mr. Speaker, all over the world is now people are moving into PPPs to build airport cities. Only using private capital of building road, power, water, sewage, building all supermarket, hospitals, schools. This is now quite normal all over the world. So me support him through idea belong. Nubla city by this government must lead him, now you build him. No, not so. But the issue is one of funding. So what the world has done is they come up with a master plan and work with the private sector and developers and agencies like the World Bank, IFC, of building all these modern cities. We are not building in the 60s. We are talking about building very modern cities. So since we work in announcement that my ministry is keen to partner provincial government, National Aviation Ministry, all the other stakeholders of buildings like city of Nadzab, I'm happy to inform Parliament the World Bank has already written to me. They are very keen on being part of this because they've just built a city of Mexico using the same concept in airport city. State using one military airport or building one city. And all the funding came from the private sector, now investors. We have to think outside the box and be innovative. So in January, I'll be calling a consultative workshop, inviting the World Bank, ADB, and all the other partners, Lokamna, Sira with the government, administration, blame the leaders of Morobe, Long global experience on airport cities and how it was funded, and how we could all partner and work together to deliver the new Nasab city as an initiative of the Marabe Rosso government. It can be done. Partners are ready. We just have to organize ourselves and meet and look at funding under AGZ, give incentives, and let the private sector come and fund the city that we all need. All our brothers and sisters in the highlands, all come to Lilay, no got house on Nasab Airport, no got hotel, no got hablo staff. We can't keep living like this. We have to build more than an airport with facilities. So time has come, and I support the governor of Morobe and the initiative of the Morobe government. You may order must work on them, put them on, and let's look at ways to fund this important city at Nasab. So I'll be there in January, and I'll be looking for cooperation from the provincial government, administration, all at least of Morobe, Iminit, Lotoktok, and get moving with this very important city. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Sinasina Yankomon.
Acting Speaker. I want to direct my question to the Minister for Petroleum on the Papua LNG project. All of us are looking forward to the commencement of this project. All of us, government, opposition, and our people, business houses. Papua New Guinea is looking forward to the commencement of this project. But the project has been delayed for a number of times, maybe on my count, totaling nearly 2 years now. They said we'd move to FID in 2024, early 2024. We went past that. Mid 2024, we went past that. End of 2024, we went past that. First quarter 2025, we went past that. Second quarter, third quarter. Then finally, we were assured it would be fifth quarter, which is now. Got 1 more month to go.
Honourable Member, your question is directed to Minister for
Petroleum. Petroleum. Yes. Thank you, Assistant Speaker. So this ongoing deferral of the commencement of the project, with especially the announcement, with the organization of the Development Forum for Papua New Guinea stakeholders, and the announcement of the FID, final investment decision, was expected this quarter on previous undertakings. And now this quarter is nearly gone now. Now I hear the latest announcement is, okay, Development Forum in first quarter next year, which means that the FID might be straight after that into first quarter. It reached a point where we can't trust anybody anymore. We need some solid statement from the minister in consultation with the developers, assuring us that there will be no continuous and indefinite pushback of this project into the never, never. Every time they say something, it hasn't happened. So I'm sure the Minister for Planning and Treasurer and everybody developing the economic plans around this project commencing, and it's not been happening based on commitments and statements already made about the actual startup date. So we need some definite statements. So I've got 4 questions, Assistant Speaker, if I can ask the Minister. Number 1, when will the Development Forum take place? Number 1. Development Forum is where the provincial government, the state, the provincial governments, the landowners, and now the DDAs, the districts are now included, with Minister Soroi's amendment yesterday. Districts are now included into that Development Forum. These are the people who have to get together and have negotiations ahead of FID. They got to organize themselves. They're very important stakeholders on Papua LNG. So when is that going to happen? When they say, Minister made an announcement about a week or so ago that it's going to be next year, is he absolutely certain it's going to be first quarter next year? Number 2, when do we then expect the final investment decision by the developer? Number 3, can the minister use all means and powers available to him make sure that once timelines are given and announced and broadcast to the state, that these timelines are kept? In other words, can he make sure that those timelines, any new timelines given, are guaranteed, assured, confirmed, and no more deferral? And finally, number 4 question is, we know that, and this has been confirmed by the governor of the central bank, that Papua New Guinea is moving into grey listing in February next year, in 2 months' time. Will that impact upon the developer moving into FID? We need some clarity and some assurance of whether that moving this country into grey listing is going to impact the financing and the ability of this country to raise its own equity funding, and the project, the developer's ability to raise finance and all this will not be impacted by this threatened grey listing. It's not threatened, it's actually happening. The timetable has been given and it's going to happen in February. So how's that going to affect the Papua LNG financing? Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Minister for Petroleum.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker, and I like thanking member for Senator Yongumuk. Now, good questions. It's a very important question because me like also talks on Papua New Guinea today that this is an important project for Papua New Guinea, Papua LNG, where status plug. 19th April 2019, we have been signing an agreement. I need no former government, the leadership of previous Prime Minister. Then later, we have been signing a fiscal development, fiscal agreement, where I think it started in 2021. This is a project, a big project of Papua New Guinea. You may must develop him, you may not lose him start, because the country you may need him revenue plus the project. But times the project in sign him, I think only a couple of months later, government been changed. Now, some ask him the new government to attend in planning on agreement, already been like review. Na predecessor honorable Senator Yongumuk member have been trying to review his agreement. Unfortunately, his agreement and government sign him important, even if I go back in a broken agreement. So all developer, all stop strongly in the agreement. So some talk you go calm now. You may stop it, and then COVID hit him, Papua New Guinea. Next time COVID hit him, Papua New Guinea too. People heavy stuff. So some more delay come up. It's unfortunate. And natural causes blow. This delay. Time he take him, ministry, but me vice minister and it no. Honorable Prime Minister, believe me, have been starting time no a project. Now, me commend him, Prime Minister, because time him go and me meeting with the more developer. I'm giving him the opportunity to be transparent. Now, me leaders go and meet with them. President plus la company Total Energy. Now, Singapore plan to come up, but Prime Minister guidance again. Now, me been sit down and talk straight on the developer Total Energy. So all been giving me some date. Now, me been hiring to talk to come back and sit down. Now, me ask him to go outside the tender again. Because all you gonna tender, now only give him some price he come back. Because delay stops, so Thomas all you been agreeing at in certain time or signing agreement by working Muslim between $11 billion to 12 billion of development project. But this lot delay come now, you got certainly stop. So through leadership of the Prime Minister and the government Marape Rosso, we will go and ask him to go back to bidding can. No pining outside or contractors stop outside can come now. Development the project no still a price. And it's a contract. But time only go outside the bidding can only come back. All company planning Europe company only come back the price you go on top was $18 billion. Economic no development now all worry can. Through again, honesty, transparency, the Prime Minister believe me. You go sit down with them, President Blow, Total. Now people ask him, please, people find him, napla way no working bidding. So people, as a country, Papua New Guinea, people need him project. So only work him some bidding. This plan, so me talks out on a delay why him come out. Only work bidding can now, as recently last month or closing bidding. Now this little company, mainly from Asia, mainly from China, Korea, Japan, only come put himself bid, come said no. So now company now second himself bid start. Now, unfortunately, no Lily project, tribal project. You say we go from $12 billion to $18 billion. Only company finding one the right amount, it can work in profit blow, then all by talk out. So people are too, no government side, people are waiting start. Now me talk on Papua New Guinea. Hopefully, only company been talking people them. Hopefully, some price by look good. Now all can come and announce him. Also, them successful builder and work him contract, no build him plant site under the CPF, Central Processing Facility, no where wellhead is close to them, no Gulf Province. Now so build him onshore pipeline, they come offshore pipeline, and they come back no down below no Cochin Bay where LNG plant site is stopped. Good story we can talk to them. No sir plant site down below ExxonMobil in appoint him or he been arranged no signing one heads of agreement one company. So this plus site no plant site. No down below no Cochin Bay you may get on contractor companies. Na price only locking companies. But price below offshore pipeline, you're going to have an onshore pipeline, they're going to CPF on austerity yet. Hopefully by the end of this month or early next year, the company will talk to me, USAT is successful bidders. So this delay, come up on the side of the government. Now people of Papua New Guinea, unfortunately there's a delay come on the side of international organization, something we've been talking past time here. You may have signing got some heavy, looks out on the signing initial contract of 2019. Then COVID come up. Then I need the Prime Minister and the government, people have been trying to push him strong through. Contractor must work him project. So now we come now, this is people come up to the side now. So he come now, ask him now, so we talk on the back side, now or question me by answering blow. Good member, when the development forums will take place. Okay, last week, me, Minister of Energy, Minister of Finance, and member of Kerama Open, na Kairuku, mi blay go down no Kerama, na mi blay go na mokim sampler announcement namlo that mi blay like him working development forum, he start no Kerama. So this blay mi blay working decision pinis, na mi blay by hopefully working development forum he start late January, early February 2026. And mi blay working decision finish no go ahead no start development forum. Number two, me like also thank him treasurer, government side, been allocating some of the funding for the development forum to occur, which is about 40 million kina. When the FID will take place, FID, a final investment decision, and but talks our company, but talks our yes, me blog Hamas development forum we finish. Papa Giron give him okay, and me company move going to start him construction. This play FID, people expect him from total company. People looks hours and we might. All you've been talking about dates, so you will complete him development forum in time, then maybe can start him a project early April 2026. MLA talks on Papua New Guinea. Which is a very good talk because you must understand the country believe me that even though you hand him budget down last week, you heard him very clearly that it's focused on the government has spent all the money towards agriculture and opening country infrastructure. But you may not consider him. Suppose the project you start next year, plan is something that comes, plan the benefits, inflow of money that comes to the country. So that's also we call him icing on the cake for this country. And I want to thank the guidance of Prime Minister Marape and working good. And we not consider him the impact of the project in the economy. But it might be a surprise. We never know, we might have a surplus next year. So we make sure that project starts early April next year. Now, the question as to the grey listing. This is a question in grey listing. Where I sit, got visibility, no central bank, no treasury side, but where I'm sitting, I don't think it'll affect the country so much because we're talking about a company and its joint venture partners bringing income, foreign currency into PNG. Looking some of the problem them. but me no got visibility in the central bank, so I cannot expound on that particular question. As to the financing of the project, last we having some delay in the project because Kumul Petroleum signing an agreement or call him joint marketing. Now I need to gas agreement I signed in 2019. Papua New Guinea government agree one time company that people are giving marketing LNG blimple no company no salim. Time more salim gas agreement bla signing but helping more no raising finance. Now I need agreement too. Company with agree no helping people Papua New Guinea no raising 50% of our financing for the project. So unfortunately a delay come up one of us. Why Kumul been he stopped him signing go. The Kumul Petroleum only signed that agreement in September of this year. So when the time signed the agreement, we gave it to the developer. Developer can't go quick through a meeting with them all bankers. All bankers, so far we're hearing the bankers have no problem financing this project and also to finance our part, 50% of Papua New Guinea equity, national project, or capital equity. So that's the answers I can give the Mila Toksano country. So Mila Gim Ogara departments, Ogara government institution, you must support him to the project. Mila Gim Ogara members of parliament be responsible to be looking comments about the project, because the project by affecting me Ogara the country. It's a massive project. At the moment, what I'm hearing from the developer and the project proponents, only been mentioning a figure around between 14 billion to 15 billion US dollars or in developing. It's economical for them within those price range. So given that we hopefully we will get an answer before the end of this year or probably early next year that we can start this project in early April. Thank you very much.
Governor for NCDC, we have a supplementary member for about, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. I just noted that the good minister, I think, brushed aside the question and the issue of grey listing for the country because the implications, the global image of the country is a serious issue. And so for the minister to just brush it aside is something that really needs to be sorted out by the government. Because once we are listed, then the risks of investment by foreign companies will be much higher. And so I cannot accept that the minister has just brushed it aside. Thank you.
Minister for Petroleum.
Through you, Assistant Speaker, and a good point of order from member for Abao. Grey listing, as I said, me no got visibility because me no sit down the total one of central bank. Me no got oversight over central bank. Now me no will affect again no grey listing by affecting PNG. And this is a particular investment too. Me no saw so no got trust. Me talk out anything no parliament no got me also talk kusai too. Now misleading parliament. So unless I think this question you will ask him or minister he got oversight no central bank. I can answer him probably, but me at the side, the petroleum side, me sit down total one company, you know, give me one indication. You know, give me one indication that the grey listing will affect their investment. The only thing I've heard from the company is that they want to go ahead with this investment first quarter of next year. That's why me as a government, we are trying our best to make it impossible for them to come with an excuse to delay this project. And another issue I forgot to answer the earlier is that if we have to somehow tie them down to make sure that they don't delay it again, through our powers and through as minister, I will ensure that we will tie them down to keep to their words and keep to the development timeline. That one I will make sure. I want to announce it to the people of Papua New Guinea. I will use all my powers under the licensing to ensure that the project starts first quarter next year because this country needs this project at all cost. Thank you.
Governor for NCDC.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker, for giving me opportunity to ask him a question without notice. I have 5 questions directed to the Minister for Administrative Affairs, Honorable Masare. They relate to our preparation for 2027 election and beyond. Number one question, through you, Assistant Speaker. What actions are your ministry and the Electoral Commission taking or planning to take to ensure that small, well-secured, easy electorates like National Capital District does not have a repeat of 2012 and 2022 National General Election, where our capital city was last to be declared, and some of us did not participate in the election of the Prime Minister on both occasions? Second question, what actions, through you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, what actions are your ministry and the Electoral Commission taking or planning to take to ensure that the use of special circumstances are not used again anywhere in PNG in 2027 and beyond, especially in Southern Islands, as was in the case in 2022 and 2017. Governor Poe probably won the election fair and square, but Kankani come up now, we have to resort to special circumstances. We have to stop this, Assistant Speaker. Number three, what actions are your ministry and the Electoral Commission taking or planning to take to ensure that we have only one voting system in PNG, and that is one person, one vote, and not allowing hijacking of ballot papers by a few people who can mark the ballot box or ballot papers on behalf of everyone? Mr. Speaker, if I did this in Port Moresby, or my two colleagues here, we hijacked the ballot papers and ballot box here in Port Moresby, it will be scandal, and the election here will be cancelled. But we are allowing it in some parts of our country. So we are going to have two voting systems, or one voting system, one man, one vote, or one person, one vote. Number four, what actions, through you again, Assistant Speaker, what actions are your ministry and the Electoral Commission taking or planning to take to ensure that women of PNG can be allowed to exercise their rights to vote freely for the candidates of their own choice without fear, intimidation, and more importantly, without violence? Are we able to do this, or are we able to ensure that the election is free and fair for everyone, including women and girls of our country? Number five, Mr. Assistant Speaker, through you, if the Minister or the Electoral Commission cannot give us that assurance or guarantee, or they have a plan to ensure this type of a situation doesn't arise, can the Minister or Electoral Commission consider engaging, for example, the New Zealand Army to conduct the 2027 national elections on our behalf, or other friendly or trustworthy military force from other parts of the world? Mr. Speaker, me ask him this because the election is like a military operation. There should be operational orders, clear strategies, and we go and carry it out, implement it, and then move on to another electorate. Now we have an electoral commissioner who has no idea, who cannot organize this type of, operational challenges. And we are giving a very important national outcome to this type of, people who are heading this very important national events for all of us that defines the 5 years of our country, of our people. Mr. Speaker, just to be context to people are here, my two colleagues are here. 2022, you come up finish na, people are stop yet. And if we are going to assess the success of our election process, the national capital should be one of the defining, outcomes of our election. Because people are legally elected, there are only 270 square kilometers. Road them good blah, communication is good blah. People got CCTV now, people got police staff, army staff, but we keep on being the last to be declared. I've asked the question already. 5 questions already. You brought in 2. I'm just giving a bit of context and emphasizing it. You plus some nothing engaged in this type of voting in Goikabia. Hijacking the ballot and hijacking the
Honorable Governor.
box. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Let me ask you a question, please. Thank you.
Honorable Governor, you are asking question already and then you are debating again. The Honorable Member for Outfly, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. The good governor has taken up the time and there's enough room to ask more questions where many wants to ask, and I ask if we can extend question time. And I ask if we can extend question time at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The question is that the question time be extended to 20 minutes. Those in favor? Those in favor, please stand. Question time is extended to 20 minutes. The Minister for Administration Services.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and I want to thank the good governor for NCD for his very important questions. Mr. Assistant Speaker, these questions are very important to the country, and they deserve a very comprehensive response to them. So, through that chair, if I could ask the good governor to provide those questions in writing to you, and then hopefully by tomorrow or by Tuesday I can provide a very comprehensive response, because the nation deserves to know what the government is doing to address the important issues of elections. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
The Governor for Madang.
Thank you, Mr. Alvin Speaker. Mr. Alvin Speaker, mi amo mas looking mission down the sialo this morning today. I'm now, Mr. Alvin Speaker, asking Blomi inoka toksawe. Mi salemigolo Minister of International Trade and Investment. Na mi suruki mapigolo Prime Minister lo take note. Mr. Alvin Speaker, asking Blomi MBI ni mon plan media release. Minister of International Trade and Investment make him last day. Deslam media release, I'm tokol Sam. Chairman Blo is on New Britain palm oil, usadi onim Ramu Agri Industry Limited. He talked to one time government now. Na only one bill, law state by buying equity inside law, Ramu Agri Industry. Mr. Alvin Speaker, mi ama true lo desla announcement ya. Mi dok thank you lo government. Thank you lo Maraperoso government. Lo look sawe also now by lo best time through this la Ramu Agri Industry, you know, 100% overseas owned company run inside lo Madang na lo country. Na tu mi ama sosem sample askim lo mi sana lo flow na skip. No at good la bekim blongan. Lo this la Ramu Agri Industry Limited. Usai di lukautim suga, lukautim oil palm, lukautim cattle one time. Now all pine in space lo, only pine in space.
Point of order. Honorable Minister, one point of order, please.
This is issue regarding New Britain palm oil. This is issue on Minister of Law, International Trade na investment making regarding company established in Britain. Thank you.
Governor, can I ask him question, please? Point of order, Minister. Take note.
Mr. Alvin Speaker, I think asking Blomi, maybe anyone Blomi, media release come up last day, suppose you play read him. Suppose no God, okay, let me clear him like past them, look so well, am I right? All right, he got one media release come up, Minister yet and Sawem by make him good, na clear him. State now by acquiring equity. By acquiring equity inside lo ramo agri industry. Des la company yang stable madang. Ar kimbe tuna samblab tu emigaro lekaniko. Padam stable madang na asking blomi bipo angama biat no ad gubla beki mikam yet lo government. So des la me looking for opportunity now. Nami lak to thank you lo government please. Suppose you serious kisim now. Kisim say. Ask him blomi emolsem. Okay, good la true suppose. State la kisim. One time by me kisim. How long? One likelihood blo state lo kisim hariap. Inap lo minister tok sawe good. Na people blo madang harem. Because sampla ask him blomi bla mangama piat stop lo space. Na mi blo madang round lo ground stop. One time bam sim good la back him. Na Mr. Alvin Speaker, number 2, ask him emolsem. Time state kisim equity. Mi ask him also, madang ba kisim mo place inside lo desla onogat. Time state kisim equity lo ramo agri industry. Inap madang province na people lo madang kisim say inside lo desla. Equity state kisim inap libla talk straight. People lo madang by must not be marginalized and become a spectator on their own land. Libla ba plurial investment is step inside lo province ya. Mi county na yuarem, Mr. Speaker, o mi county. Ardi itu na. Madang nogat se. British American tobacco. Ologim sumuk na sample sumuk na sim feelings na sample sim cancer stop. Madang nogat se inside lo ngam. Ramu Nicole. Madang nogat se. Globe manufacturing. Madang nogat se. And now Ramu agri industry, madang nogat se, come up big plus spectator, come up, why Raman and tablo ground blame it. 50 years now, you blood auto reset, na hard reset ya, and one blood hard reset ya. You blood okay monogat.
Honorable Member, Honorable Governor, you can ask him questions.
I Mr. Alvin Speaker, me talk YouTube by benefit in establishing. All right. Ask him blomi emolsem. Suppose state kisim number 2 ask him. State kisim say, Baul give him lo madang on place tu na amas baul give him please enough lo talk straight. Am opportunity am open. Last ask him blomi. Time state kisim equity. How by state I look out him. Tax credit. Blomi lo make him sample liglig work also. Inside lo province lo wakim liglig. Level 4 hospital blomi lo volume station. Lo suno bundi. Company asino nantap lo ground. Bodo lo raikos na usuno bundi. All kay bun na luglug staff ya. Na ible drink sugar na pilim sweeta. Bible luglug lo desla tu. This because desla askim magamat. Mi askim lem kisimam blogu blotok sawe. People lo madang kisim sample kilia lo desla tu. So, me like minister must make him talk clear lo disla. Na people blow madang by aram na oli look sawer lo wanem ting state lo ron lo kisim equity. Me like minister na talk. You time you define him state. State and people ya. State and people ya. You define him state good. And people ya. So give him color people. Now last place down na staff ya. Give him look sawer lol. 50 years now. Thank you, Mr. Alvin Speaker. Ask him blomi me company also.
Minister for Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Namilag talk. Bipla, thank you through long. Governor Blomedang, it's a very important question. I through also Mibla reach him. Concept approval last day. Namel of me, na ministry of me. na chairman belong Ramusuga also chairman belong Liberian Palm Oil na company own him sila group of companies lo Papua New Guinea. Only one belong offer lo me lo state must acquire him shares lo Ramo Agro Industries Limited. Before me beg him question, but me give him background and reason why. And me important that state must concern the come up shareholder too. Right now, we can't expand the oil palm industry nor the cattle industry. We need a vehicle. Company want to expand this look sugar, we can't even expand sugar. We are importing sugar right now. Cattle, meat, importing. Australia mainly. Now, you may not get more bush law. And RSPO, you don't have more cutting bush, lo planting oil palm. You must only use grassland. To comply with the RSPO requirements, that you can export to the global market. So strategically, Ramu, and we got expertise lo cattle, sugar, na palm oil, na all look at more ground lo expand. So people approach him all. The state come inside as an equity partner plus other PNG equity partners, including our super funds, Logonside and buy and sell company, mainly to expand their operations into other parts of our country. Lo beef, sugar, na palm oil. Only agree as now. As soon as I received the letter on Friday, formal confirmation, member Karam submission go to NST, lo kisim support blog. Government law concept, so MIBLA can work on them all, and other potential PNG investors, law MIBLA work on them, law buy them share. Obviously, to buy into a company, by that valuation, due diligence, by that process belong them. And I expect that process to take between this month, go in a March, before we can look at actually acquiring shares. I need to have state funding when we have funds available in the new budget next year. Me talk thank you, Lord Prime Minister, and our government, Lord put him state equity funding, Gonzalo budget, Lord next year, so we'll be able to put some money. We are not going to be a big investor, but me by give him comfort so that company will allow other investors to come in now. Me look, fund him expansion blow, oil palm, na cattle, na sugar, into other parts of our country. This is a very strategic move. Now, me hammers through that company one bell. Now, they are assuring me that they're not needing money. They're making very good money as a company right now. But this money will be for expansion, so we can start other sugar projects in the country, other palm oil projects in places where we got grassland. Not only in the civic plains, but all other parts of the country, all by Luk. Sugar, we are mainly looking at Central Province. So that's the reason behind that. So I'm really background. Now, coming back to the governor's question, definitely, as we negotiate this agreement, and it's important that Medellin provincial government has to be a partner, has to be involved. You will not be a spectator, not under my watch. It's very clear. In the mining and petroleum areas, we're going to promise kisim equity, lenders kisim equity, provincial government kisim equity, and we must start doing that in other areas where big agriculture projects are looking. So, Governor Bino looking at me, sure it will happen. We will talk to you and consult you, and make sure that Medellin provincial government must get equity. You are right. I'm telling you, working the straight in. So, no got issue law. Come back law issue the tax credit. Me no sabe why na, as a speaker, Ramusuga no funding all tax credit projects within the Medellin province. Tax credit and responsibility of the National Planning Department. Also, chairing committee, Lugulo submission, approachable company, lo funding.
The Honorable Minister, you have a point of order.
Mr. Speaker,
The Honorable Opposition Leader, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, we cannot be running the People's House in the darkness.
Honorable Minister, you can resume your seat when the point of order.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot be running the People's House in the darkness. And handset must be recorded. So, you're right, that's all. You suspend in Parliament, you manually click, power come back so that handset can operate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Opposition Leader, your point of order is that the power is coming back. We wait for the light. The Minister can reply to the question for the member for Governor for Madang. Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Speaker Long. A question about tax credit. Minister, while company funding many tax credit projects in Madang province, that responsibility lies with the National Planning Department. So it's important that Governor, you sit on one time planning now, you put in more submission come through now, we can help you to one more company too. To make sure that some important projects like district hospital belong, district way hosting project board Raikos now, Usinobundi should be considered and funded under tax credit. And money blow you may no money blow company. And it should be done. I mean no looking reason why it's not been done. So me encourage him Governor to one in planning now, put together submissions now we can all I can talk with the chairman now, all I know some now you can try and help him to make sure that Madang province will benefit law, tax credit law is very important service law. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a point of order. The Governor for member for Sinisino Yogumo.
Point of order, Blomi, also, Mr. Speaker. Olga Rasantin and Minister of International Trade and talk to him good blood through. Plenty good blood walking, but this blood talk blame the tax credit against nearly all companies operating in this country. It's a matter of concern. Me no think also you must outside of budget committee tax credit left, right, center. First one need him. All got tax money again collecting na garkan consolidated revenue me passing budget na scaling. Now time you plus scaling you like look out in kind projects also, but generally tax credits everywhere is something that we should discourage. Thank you.
The Honorable Governor, your point of order. Mr. Knoll. Governor for Morobe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Supplementary question, Blomigolo.
That's supplementary.
Thank you. Supplementary question, Blomigolo. Minister, number one, the state equity funding will stop. One criteria. You may give him funding on all business. In respect to the question below, Governor Blomering, one people company will stop in Loramu, next time come Morobe. So one criteria by museum looks available company. Example, or multinational company where shareholder blow, plenty true stuff outside the country. So number one criteria. Number two, manufacturing companies will stop long lay, over like Save. Do they participate in the state equity funding or no? Got suppose criteria allow them all because they've also been existing, paying taxes in the country for the last 50 years. Now, do they qualify for state equity funding? If there is a criteria for them, because their shareholders are small businesses and small companies who are in country, whereas those multinational companies shareholder and stuff outside. So should we have a balance between multinational companies and existing last 50 years manufacturing companies who start inside low places and lay? Number three, supplementary suppose by state acquiring share in the company must look good lo broken because Ramu and stuff yes people stuff but explain come long Morobe too so me biani mek blow barata lo medenga. So 3 plus supplementary. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
The Minister for Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I think a very good question come long. Governor Lomorobe. You may got limited state equity funding law, investment law state. Obviously, it's more similar spreading everywhere. We don't have the funds. So we are looking at projects that are of strategic value to the country. We need to expand the cattle industry. We need to expand sugar industry, so we stop imports. Kind project also people are giving priority or limited funds. We got Logona, partner on the private sector, and encourage more. All to invest, jointly invest all kind investment also. Like for example, next time we got 130 million. And that's all we got limited funds, so by him look good on what is of strategic importance. This year, Bambla working joint venture on them Adil or starting tuna cannery or Medeng. Why are we doing that? It'll create 5,000 jobs straight away. And by start blow PMIZ. So it got strategic importance why we make decisions like this. You're not just gonna invest in every company that does not need the state. So let me talk clear. That's what we look at. What is of strategic value to us? So much you mean not gonna partner on them all by no got comfort or move into new areas. So we have to partner them, giving confidence to some government staff on them all now. Go to big plane, come to central province, plan in sugar, work in sugar, because state got interest law this law. So it serves our own interest. So me explain to us also. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a point of order. The member for Bololo, what is your point of order?
Mr. Assistant Speaker, understand, plenty man asking question, but Mila just talk clear, so enough. Minister must talk clear also. Or something I'm like giving must scale him country good. He got some role. Province too na. District me plus start me plus same sentiments on them meeting. No can call him meeting ta solo, CP ta solo. Thank you.
The honourable member, your point of order. I think Minister has already answered the question, and your point of order, you ask him question or debate can, so your point of order is out of order. The member for Suave.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question without notice, just a very quick one. Just a very quick one. Mr. Assistant Speaker goes to the Prime Minister since the Treasurer is absent today in the House. On Tuesday, the Treasurer came in, Mr. Speaker, to present the 2026 budget. And I'm still confused whether it was a Treasurer who was genuinely concerned about the people of Papua New Guinea or a snake oil salesman. Now, my question to the Prime Minister, Mr. Assistant Speaker, is he has been the Prime Minister since 2019. 6 years. 6 years as the Prime Minister, passing historic budget after historic budget that has taken total expenditure under the Marape government to over 220 billion kina, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Now he's announced another historic budget of 30.9 billion kina. So my question is, as the Treasurer came in gloating, preening, gaslighting, prevaricating, and then playing the blame game by blaming the former regime, the former Prime Minister, the Honourable Peter O'Neill, when is the good Prime Minister going to take responsibility for failed budget implementation from 2019 to 2025? And can he confirm whether the 2025 budget failed or not? Why is the Treasurer under the Marape government continually comparing the 2026 budget to the 2018 budget? That's my question to the good Prime Minister. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Minister, your point of order. What is your point of order?
Budget documents are before Parliament, and that question preempts the matter before before Parliament on the notice paper.
Honourable Minister, it's already past budget, so I can allow the Prime Minister to. Honourable Prime Minister.
It's all right. Let me explain. It's a political question he's asking. Let me explain. It's not a general question. Mr. Assistant Speaker, me like Sanabna talk, thank you long. Question where Member Blasuava, you ask him. Triple question, let me talk. Failed budget implementation, number one. Number two, why blaming past government? Number three, one time talk clear whether 2025 budget is run good or run cranky. Mr. Deputy Speaker, me no got plenty talk all of them. Record na number inusa gyaman. Number inusa gyaman. Talk you make an tarim talk English one talk and meaning plan is something. But number 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 100 and 100. Number inusa gyaman. So suppose Emi not believe in me. Well, I ask him, read him final budget outcome long year 2013 or 2012. Coming up, stop on 2018. Again starting on 2019. Coming up on 2024, the last time we play releasing final budget outcomes. Suppose Emi no clear. Final budget outcome and talk about how the budget has been delivered. For instance, the 2018 final budget outcome is not Marape Rosso government's final budget outcome. That's the previous government's final budget outcomes. 100% belong to the last that government. And so the numbers are all clear, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and for all learned members of Parliament. Let's not just gloat over numbers and gloat over words. Just read the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And in case any feel or some more failed budget implementation, me like I'm also reading, Dr. Lo, Treasurer Stakio, Dr. Lo, Prime Minister Marape. I read him talk about all professional commentators for economy. Kind of say, one of Westpac Bank and talked about all these years. Kind of say, one of BSP talked about all these years. One of ANZ talked about all these years. One of UPNG or ANU or NRI talked about all these years. After this question time finished, I'm presenting the report, research 50. Inside Longan, we got NRI report from 1975 to year 2024. And so, Mr. Speaker, you don't need me talk some outside me running. Look, report start finished. And you read him, you're clear. Look him, rouse him, emotion, politics aside. Read him number and look him number. In terms of debt and debt to GDP. In terms of percentage in deficit. In terms of percentage in budget delivery. Key, budget delivery. You look at FBO. Look at percentage of budget delivery. Let me stop. Read him, for instance, if you want to compare the recent past government and the current incumbent government. You run your eyes from 2012 all the way to 2024, the last 12 years, and you will get an absolutely clear picture on how side Marape, Rosso, Pangu, coalition governments doing in the context of circumstances we are faced with from 2019 to 2024. The second question I'm asked, how's 2025? Budget running, Mr. Assistant Speaker. The last I know of, December 31st, 2025 has not lapsed yet. December 31st, 2025 has not lapsed yet. I would ask the member for his patience. When the final budget outcome 2025 is delivered within first quarter of next year, again he can run his very intelligent mind and eye over that number. And he will have full statistics on percentage of budget delivery. Mr. Assistant Speaker, what I can tell you, and I don't want to gloat, just look into the numbers and you will see which government has done better in revenue collection and expenditure remittance. Which government has done better in managing debt in the overall scheme of things, within debt in terms of percentage of debt to GDP. Which government has done better containing inflation? Which government has done better giving the most help to the people in terms of times of need? Historically, we removed GST from 13 essential household items. Never done before, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Historically, we have lifted the ceiling of not paying tax to our citizens earning under 20,000 kina. Never done before. And the last I gave thanks to the O'Neill government, which I was part of. They lifted to 12,500. I beg your pardon, 12,000. We've now lifted 70,500 today, making permanent at 12,000 in tough times. Mr. Deputy Speaker, you can say your piece in ordinary times and in the comfort of your chair, but sitting in the jump seat when the economy is tough, it's not easy to manage. Just look at the numbers on how we're getting things done. And make a comparison. Next year, when we deliver the final budget outcome, 2025, then you can look back again and cast how 2025 has been delivered. His second question or third question asking why pointing on the past? Our reference to past is a consistent reminder on where we've come from so that we don't repeat the same mistakes and we go forward into the future, hopefully in a better way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable members, our time has left. The leader of Honourable Minister, what is your point of order?
Simple point of order is this. Members of Parliament, when they address the Speaker Chair, must correct and proper name. It is my duty to advise the Speaker. I'll be Speaker and all this is not recorded in the standing orders. You must address properly. We cannot apply pitching here. If it's the name, you have to name him properly. So, Assistant Speaker. It must be Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Minister, your point of order is noted. Honourable Governor for Madang, what is your point of order?
Mr. Alabama Speaker. I'm talk pisin straight. I'm mirau sumsio transis bla talk pisin. I'm gim bun blongam. You bla talk place ya. You bla talk place ya. Suppose you don't understand him this la talk pisin or adi mitanim talk kena. Oi di bao. Sorry. Oi kamu na yo. You talk. Tu bla one tema. Sorry. I'm talk pisin so Mr. Tim, me understand him, Yamamas, because talk pisin come no mouse below me. Mila talk sorry, suppose I'm no good, rouse him. Otherwise, thank you, Minister. You can right illustrate him. But me clear also I'm talk pisin, so me give him bun blow talk pisin straight. Thank you, Mr. Alvin Speaker.
Governor, your point of order in order. Talk by you, I acknowledge him. So thank you. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Leader of Government Business.
Assistant Speaker, I move that so much of the standing orders be suspended as would prevent orders of the day numbers 95, 96, 97, government business being called on forthwith.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those in against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable Member for Aba, what is your point of order?
Consistent with Standing Order 105 and 106, today is Thursday, Private Business Day. Every time the government uses its numerical strength to abuse the order that we are following. And I want in particular to refer to notice paper number 65, which was notice given 2 years ago by the then late member, Governor for Morro Bay. Election is in 2027. This report has not been adopted by the National Parliament. May I seek the Assistant Speaker for the Leader of Government Business and the Private Business Committee to allow this to be debated and adopted. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honorable member for Bayo, point of order is in order. The leave has been granted. So after the calling of leader of government business will come through. The leader of government business. Clerk.
Order of the day number 95, Organic Law and Certain Constitutional Office Holders, Amendment Law 2024. Minister for Justice and Attorney General, third reading, second record opposition for debate, and second vote from 6th August.
Mr. Assistant Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 22F, I move that the proposed law to be now read a third time and commence the second required opportunity for debate.
The Prime Minister.
Mr. Davidis, Assistant Speaker, I rise to give support to the hardworking AG's amendments. Mr. Davidis, Assistant Speaker, these amendments is necessary. We are experiencing in our country a depletion of very experienced people because of the age limitations of our key constitutional office holders. We have, earlier this Parliament has made amendment to the judges. Today the retirement age, they start retiring at 70, if not compulsory retirement at 75. If you care to look far and wide in our country, and for me sitting sometimes as chair of the key constitutional office appointment committees we have, like electoral commissioner or ombudsman commission or ICAC or the judges assisting the JLSC, sometimes we see lack of available candidates below the age of 50, 60, especially having that level of experience at the senior level. And I think in this day and age, where age in terms of health and mental sanity, people could be productive even up to 70, 72, 75. I point to all one reference point. An eminent son of our country, Sir Anwar Ahmed, served distinctively as our country's second National Chief Justice. Later on, became governor of Medang Province, and very recently we appointed him to be ambassador to United States. In the case of embassies, when you want to appoint someone, the other government must sign an agreement meaning that they agree that this is a candidate fit to come and represent our country and be a resident ambassador in their country. And so there's an element of depletion of senior Papua New Guinean citizens right now in our country, as well as those we want to recruit from outside. Hopefully we could infuse the right senior citizens into some of very, very senior roles in our country, especially the key constitutional office holders. I want to also indicate, for instance, the electoral commissioner, the age limit that has come on. For electoral commissioner, we've now looking far and wide. Advertisement will go out. There was a question on the electoral commission earlier in this session. We want to recruit from outside or from within. My own preference, someone who's not Papua New Guinean but from outside, but at this very, very senior level. So those sort of issues face us right now. Many states bringing an amendment that is congruent to the earlier amendment we did, where judges now age, in terms of the age requirements, ranges from 72 to compulsory retirement at 75. This amendment is brought in to make all constitutional officers fall within the same scope of age in which they are employable. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor? Aye. Those against, no, the ayes have it. Honourable members, as this is the second vote, the Constitution requires that the vote must be recorded and that in order for the proposed law to pass, it must also be supported by a two-thirds absolute majority of 79 members. Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. Clerk, please ring the bell. Attendants, please close the door. The question is that the proposed law without amendment be now agreed to. The question is that the proposed law without amendment be now agreed to. Those in favor, please stand. Those against, please stand. Those who favor of the motion, 76. Noes, 0. The Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the vote be rescinded.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Prime Minister.
Papers, call in papers.
Papers. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to present the report of the Steering Committee on Papua New Guinea reset at 50. Mr. Speaker, and I seek leave of this Parliament, our Parliament, to make a statement in connection with this paper.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor? Sorry. Is leave granted? Leave granted. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, and I move, Mr. Assistant Speaker, I beg your pardon. Thank you, and I move that, Mr. Speaker, I beg your pardon, Mr. Assistant Speaker, I am presenting under the cover of my statement the reset at 50, PNG 50 years review and possible 20-year roadmap, Mr. Speaker, subtitled Honoring Our Legacy, Evaluating the Present and Shaping the Future. It is this review document that is being circulated to all members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Assistant Speaker, members of Parliament, and to the people of Papua New Guinea, I come one more time to this House. I rise to table to this Honourable House the PNG Reset at 50 roadmap, Papua New Guinea official reform blueprint to guide national policy, planning and implementation for the next 20 years. And I want to state from outset, this does not replace Vision 2050. This doesn't replace the national strategic plan we have that has been running since 2010. This rather augments these two major development blueprint we have, runs on par with our MTDP 4 and the series of medium-term development plans we've had, but tries to speak into it from the context of where we have come from and where we must go, especially the next 20 years, to jumpstart and resuscitate and revitalize and grow our economy and prosper our country. Mr. Assistant Speaker, on 16 September this year, our people showed up in big numbers from the autonomous region of Bougainville all the way to the westernmost part of our country. And I want to acknowledge the autonomous Bougainville leaders who are present in House today, and our people in the autonomous Bougainville government. Part of this reset conversation looks into how we could treat the Bougainville work that is happening as a present understanding that the referendum result has taken place, is now in our custody, and ushering in the report also to this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Assistant Speaker, this document of the nation is not about our government, but it is not about any one government for that matter. It was developed independently by a steering committee and technical committee comprised of some of our most credible individuals, institutions, and development partners. And the National Executive Council endorsed the framework to guide our country into its next chapter as we step out and onwards from our 50th anniversary year this year. Mr. Assistant Speaker, this road map is not the work of my government alone. It is the work of the nation, produced through an open, rigorous, and inclusive process. The 50-year review and roadmap was commissioned by NEC to mark our Golden Jubilee, but developed independently, as I said earlier, by a steering committee that was chaired by Mr. Charles Abel and Mr. Atta Sumare as Deputy Chair, two notable sons of our country. In their previous life as members of Parliament, they served distinctively in the various portfolios they held, both in the not too distant past, the Sumare government and also the O'Neill government. I was privileged to have served with them. They were amongst the hardest working ministers that I served with, and men of in-depth experience themselves. So we pulled them out. They never asked to do the job. They were in community. We asked them if they could come back. And at short notice, in the face of our 50th, just takes stock of how we've come as a country and where we have done, including assessing the performance of the Marape Pangu government. And so they had a casting glance, retrospectively back the last 50 years. And they've come up with this. It's a honest appraisal on where we have been, where we have come from, our downsides, and some of our upsides. I want to point to all of you, for instance, inside this there is a NRI report, the last 50 years, NRI report from 1975 to 2024, 2025. I want to ask all of us, as I was responding to the question by Member Suave, words can mean many things, but numbers don't lie. Deep inside are numbers. Economic numbers, public service numbers, people number, performance numbers. In this day and age where most of us are educated to some level, we must be assisted by numbers to give us the rationale and reasoning to make decisions going forward into the future. Mr. Assistant Speaker, they were supported by a technical committee of professionals and researchers from the private sector, from National Research Institute, from CIMC, from ANU, Australian National University, and UNDP, representing a rare convergence of national insight and global expertise. Over 50 consultations were conducted across the country, engaging also churches, the private sector, civil society, academia, and other citizens from the highlands to the coastlands and to the islands of our country. Mr. Speaker, my government and I have also submitted ourselves to this process. We opened our books, made available the data and evidence of our own 6 years of performance for scrutiny and review. So I want to make it clear to this Honourable House and to the nation that this is not a post-mortem of selected governments of past, but an overall performance review of our country and the government of our country from 1975 up to today. It's important, as a pointer here, to look forward. Our history and our past must be the tailwind that separates us forward. And in that context, in the face of our 50th anniversary, we had a holistic review on where we have come from. It's important that the people of Papua New Guinea understand that this is not an assessment by the Marape Rosa government, but an assessment of all governments since independence, a collective reflection of our national journey. This was not a government exercise, it was a national reflection. What the NEC simply did was responsible in my view, and to listen to the evidence that was presented, the hard truths, and we have before us recommendations that we must act upon. You may ask me, why the reset? Why is it necessary? Well, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and to all members of Parliament, after 50 years, whilst we have achieved much, is it enough? I would also concur to many in our society, in our country, that says we have achieved much, maintenance of our democracy, preservations of the constitutional Section 2 boundaries of our country, but have our people benefit from services that they deserve. And I would agree with many, maybe not enough. We have produced plans, frameworks, and policies, yet we have struggled to deliver consistent and measurable outcomes for our people, and this is an honest admission. Even for me, after 6 years of being in office, much more work remains for our people. That's why we need to prioritize what is important. What is it that we must do in 1 year, 2 years, in the medium term, and then the next series of medium term. That is why the 50-year reset was thought of, and we allowed those very independent people amidst us and institutions to go through and run their eyes through and put this forth for all of us. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the 50-year review found that progress has been slow and uneven, that our human development indicators remain amongst the lowest in the Pacific, that wealth from our natural resources has not translated into widespread prosperity, and the trust in government institutions has eroded. And I stand here as President Prime Minister, not ashamed to admit this is the status quo of our country. And to admit means we admit the downsides we carry. We must all collectively rise up to get on fixing our country 50 years on going forward. That is why it is called a reset. This is why reset at 50 is not a new plan but a decisive reform agenda. It identifies what has gone wrong and what must be fixed. It is a call for a national reset, the mindset, institutions, and leadership culture. 5 guiding principles and 10 big bets, as we say, as they propose to us, 10 big things that we can bet on to do. And hopefully that could jumpstart our country and putting it on the road to prosperity for all, as Vision 2050 envisages. Mr. Speaker, the document is organized around 5 guiding principles. It's supported by 2 major reform interventions, or labeled the big bets. These are structural reforms and not slogans. Reforms that, if implemented, will fundamentally improve our will fundamentally improve how our country is governed, how our country grows, and how our country should deliver to our people. First is protecting sanctity and the integrity of our Constitution. Coincidentally, this morning I launched the workshop that is hosted by the Constitutional Law Reform Commission at the APEC House on preserving and giving respect to our Constitution. Mr. Assistant Speaker, this talks about restoring constitutional balance, for instance, by considering a bicameral parliament and a 2-term limit for Prime Minister. Proposing a 2-term limit for Prime Minister, no Prime Minister of the day thinks that this is birthright forever. There's a term limitations to Prime Minister so that there's opportunity to revamp and restore leadership, and someone who's had the pleasure of serving as Prime Minister and moves on, the next crop of leadership come on, take its place. This also talks about restoring budget integrity, closing loopholes, and operationalize sovereign wealth fund to safeguard resource wealth for generations to come into the future. The second talks about advancing human development and family. Enable universal access to voluntary family planning and maternal health, working closely with churches and civil society. Mr. Assistant Speaker, uncontrolled population growth has a toll on the economy. Planting mouse, nabagat liklik, look at the molkada. Controlling family, and to our people who are listening in, young parents at the house, young mothers sitting and watching this broadcast right now in the house, I just want to offer counsel to my young daughter who's planning to have a family. Limit your child to 2 or 3. One child these days, from my own calculation, as I was advising some young people the other day, to raise a child from conception to adult, where the child graduates to have a family of his or her own family, there's a cost attached. It costs one child in Papua New Guinea about 2 to 3 to 4 million kina, from conception to all the way till adult for a parent. So it's quite an expensive exercise having many children. And this review team, not James Marape's line of thinking, this review team put it right up front that the country's population and conversation on family planning must come out big. And so it stays right in our face. You may ask me why. It simply goes to the plate on the table asking for resources. If we contain population growth, then we could manage our country's growth and prosperity. Second pointer here about human development, it talks about deliver at the earliest universal power and internet to our communities, especially, and talks about resuscitating and reforming of PNG power, liberalizing telecommunications, and extending services to our rural communities. Third point, it talks about leveraging data and evidence for decision making. All of us sit in various levels of decision making. Many times decision making are based on emotions and feelings. This committee, the Reset 50, says we must institutionalize evidence-based governance, ensuring all major decisions are supported by data and cost-benefit analysis. The reason why we established the Ministry of Economy and Rural Development, and the NEFC is packed under Minister Lelang, is to work in this space, and I'm happy that this Reset 50 team has put that data must support allocations of resources, government policy decisions, and a cost-benefit analysis must accompany this. This also talks about building a trusted national ID system that is integrated with health and education and social protection systems. Number 4, it talks about enabling smart and sustainable and inclusive growth, enshrine private sector-led, government-facilitated growth as official policy, reform state-owned enterprises, accelerate investment, and modernize agriculture. It also talks about freeing up land for development using voluntary best practice models, respecting customary ownership while unlocking housing and agricultural potential. Number 5, ensuring accountability, transparency, and delivery. Reform the public service through a whole of government functional audit, remove ghost names from payroll, and link pay to performance. Talks about strengthening delivery through a project management unit and fully operationalizing a national monitoring and coordinating authority. In the much talked about what is happening out there, this report affirms that monitoring has been one of the biggest downsides of all governments of past, and it is about time we set up monitoring as a core function of government, and to make sure every money that is sent out is hitting the bull in as far as development is concerned. Now, what are some things that we must do? This committee also feels that quickly in the next 1 or 2 years, there must be some clear things we must do. For instance, the next 2 years we must prioritize some quick wins, and they identify amongst them stabilize the national budget and close revenue leakages, improve frontline health and education services, cleansing the government payroll, fast-tracking electricity and internet across all rural communities, establishing one-stop shop for vehicle registration and insurance into a single location, raising minimum wage to support working families. These are immediate, visible actions that will rebuild public trust and show that reform can work. Mr. Austin Speaker, I am pleased to inform this Honourable House that 2 of these key reforms have already been completed: the establishment of one-stop shop for registration and insurance, and the increase in the national minimum wages. I also report to this Honourable House that the government has ordered a forensic payroll audit as part of the payroll cleansing exercise. Initial findings thus indicate that over 4,000 and 20 individuals currently on the government payroll are unattached, receiving salaries without confirmed positions or are in deployment. This is a serious governance issue that we are now addressing decisively in partnership with the Department of Finance and Department of Personnel Management and also the National Monitoring and Coordinating Authority. I will be accountable to this House and to the nation for the progress of these commitments we are making with all of us. Before we face our people in 2027, I will present a paper, the status of the quick wins, clearly showing what has been achieved, what remains outstanding, and what we must do better, if not pass on to the next Parliament to attend to on some things we must do. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to inform the Honourable House that we have ordered the forensic audit into the payroll, and we will also act on the recommendations that is presented to us in the final report. As I said earlier, we will be accountable to our people, and we want to show what we've done before the 2027 elections. Mr. Speaker, this reset is not a government project. It is something we all must do at all levels of leadership where we are present, in our districts, in our province, and also in our portfolio ministries. And for me, as the last man in the structure of government, as well as all our Section 32 officers right across our country, we must rise up for our people. In our 50th year, look at what we must do. I ask all of us to pick a copy of this report, have a look through. We don't want to leave any place behind. We don't want to leave any part of our country behind. Building our country is not for politicians alone or bureaucrats. It is for all of us to work together. If each of us play a part in our homes, in our workplace, in our communities, in our church together, we all can transform this country. But the biggest responsibility lies with all of us who are paid by the Waigani public accounts. Members of Parliament, Ministers of State, departmental heads, those of us who are leading in the appointed or elected offices. I want you to have a relook at the Reset 50. The agenda is simple. The next 20 years. If the next 20 years we work, when our nation crosses from our 50th year to our 60th year and to our 70th year, in 2045, whoever is Prime Minister of the day, leading our people into celebrating 70 years of nationhood. Our nation at 70 years must be a nation that is prosperous, where all part of our country have roads, have connectivity in terms of power and ICT. They are harvesting from the land in terms of productivity and progress, and we have left no behind in the Bougainville conversation. We have put finality to the Bougainville issue. They are happy, we are happy. The provincial government systems that we are in conversation about, where does the governor sit? Do they sit together with us, or do they remain as members of Parliament, but at another chamber? These conversations is a real must. Together with this report, together with the report CLRC did, in terms of the constitutional report that I presented last time, I ask all leaders of this House on both sides, from the opposition, the government, from respective parties that we hold, look into this seriously. The construct of our country's well-being now and into the future is dependent on what we do. We don't want the thoughts and policies of our government just to be isolated year in, year out. That is dependent on political expediency and what we want from politics, but it must be clearly based on what the community wants. And this Reset 50 embraces the aspirations of our people in the 60s and early 70s when they worked hard to birth this country into sovereignty called PNG today, some other generation's views, and looks into how we've come the last 50 years from 1975 to 2025, and the independent panels that was pulled together from many and all stakeholders we have in our country. Their thoughts are encapsulated in this report. I want to ask all of you, spend some useful times to read through this, and if they have missed, this is not 10 Commandments, by the way, Mr. Assistant Speaker, if they have missed something that you feel must be included, then please do indicate. This doesn't replace Vision 2050, Vision 2050 stands as a goalpost target. We all go, this just augments, as I said, try to bring some key priorities together for the next 20. And Vision 2050 was launched in 2010. The chief architect of Vision 2050 remains in his parliament, a member for Abao, in his capacity then as Deputy Prime Minister and the leader tasked to deliver Vision 2050. The roadmap was outlaid to us. Now, in 2025, we are 15 years after Vision 2050 was outlaid. The goalpost is simple. By 2050, we must be a prosperous, happy, wealthy, wise, and fair society to all in 2050. When I became PM in 2019, I set two benchmarks that will be forever embedded in our country's mindset. The richest black Christian nation and economy to reach 200 billion kina by 2029, if not 2030. The richest black Christian nation amplifies that Vision 2050 aspiration. That when we reach that, we must be a prosperous nation. This reset now looks back, assisting all of us. They've compiled this report for us. I want to point all of you to this. And key amongst them are data inside. Very interesting data. In one of the middle section is this one. It says, PNG Golden Jubilee Publication, 1975 to 2024 by NRI. So you know, Tokolo James Marabe stuff inside, Toktok Longol, Sabe Man Bluimi, institution of the country. One big Toktok stuff, economy Bluimi from 1975 coming up now, economy grow below population growth. Population growth on top, and economic growth Bluimi underneath. From 1975 to 2002, for instance, the years where we were changing government every 2 years, our economy grew at 0.03%, and our population was growing above 3%. Thanks to Mekere Murata, the late Sir Mekere Murata, the political party law that came into place in 2001 stabilized Somali government that started the next wave of economic growth we have today. But the growth we've seen even the last 23 years is not sufficient to fill in the gap of the needs we have that has aggregated much to this date. And so it compels us to look at what we must do this year, next year, and key amongst them, preparing the country for a good election platform in 2027, and then hopefully whoever comes into government in 2027 onwards can use this sort of data and statistics to compel them to make rational decisions on where to make intervention for the prosperity of people, the balance of the life of Vision 2050. This should take us to 2045, 5 years sort of Vision 2050 deadline in 2050, and should give us a fair assessment on how we have ramped up development for the benefit of all our people right across the country. Mr. Speaker, I conclude my statement by saying it was done by people. Some statements inside does offend me too, but I'm man enough to accept our government's shortcoming. If I say everything is good, I'm being unfair on the country. So we've assessed 6 years of Marape government, 8 years of O'Neill government, 9 years of Somali government, then they going back all the way to 75. Not to accuse someone, but to learn from it, so we correct ourselves. My government to 27, if you all members allow the Pango government to stay on until 27, and then whoever comes on board, use these sort of statistics to guide you as we all separate our country forward. Mr. Assistant Speaker, I rest my case.
The question is that the question been up.
Speaker, if I could respectfully ask the statement be made out of the day and debate be put for a subsequent sitting.
The leader of government business.
Assistant Speaker, I rise to contribute to this debate. I firstly want to
Do we have point of order, member for Abao?
Mr. Assistant Speaker, the Prime Minister has just moved that we take note and the debate be adjourned. And then the Leader of Government Business is trying to debate again.
Honourable Member, your point of order is noted. The Prime Minister has presented the bill, deep report. The Leader of Government Business by adjourn him debate. Also, possibly like make him debate him can make him adjourn him. Leader of Government Business. The Leader of Government Business.
Okay, Assistant Speaker, I think plenty of leaders, like him, you may take note long slap paper. Now you may put him long narpla time, lobo you can talk long him. So.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, Minister's statement. Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take leave of Parliament to present to this Honourable House and to the people of Papua New Guinea the Department of Foreign Affairs year 2023 into 24 review of our department. This review covers key activities and achievements of Papua New Guinea's foreign relations in the course of the year 2023 particularly, but there are some important developments that precede 23 and have consequentially domestic and international response that I will make reference to as well. Mr. Speaker, this review report serves as a platform to account to the nation the PNG's foreign service policy pursued by the Marape Rosso government, and also a platform to interface with the citizenry of interest stakeholders in the work of the PNG Foreign Service. Mr. Speaker, there are many crucial issues at the forefront of challenges facing the world in the recent past and continue to live on today. Post-COVID and the Build Back Better is dwarfed by outbreak of wars between Russia and Ukraine and Iran and its proxies against Israel. The global impacts of COVID, together with climate change and global warming, remain humanity's biggest challenges. As the UN Secretary General stated in the State of the Planet speech in December 2020, we have come to a moment of truth. COVID and climate have brought us to a threshold. Recovery and building resilience from the pandemic was a priority topic for discussion in most every regional and international meeting. As we charter our way through this turbulent period, it's necessary to accentuate the challenges and opportunities for our diplomacy going forward. Our diplomacy and efforts stood tall to save devastating effects to PNG. For this, I commend the foreign resident diplomatic missions here in PNG and PNG diplomatic missions and posts abroad, along with the Department of Foreign Affairs, for ensuring that at that time vaccines were available for our citizens. PNG brought its citizens home, whether walking out of the plane or on our shoulders. Our responsibility to our citizens transcended national boundaries and went beyond the call of duty in times like this. Another major challenge at the global level is climate change and global warming, and the conversation on climate change and the global warming cannot take place without talking about the mitigation efforts and conveying on forest conservation and global warming reduction. PNG is 1/3 of the world's natural forest responsibility for carbon or carbon sinks. The forest covers PNG in a natural asset that can be leased to the world for humanity and life subsistence. In November 2021, the world leaders met at COP26, hosted by UK in a partnership with Italy from 31st of August to 12th of November in 21, Glasgow, UK. The International Panel on Climate Change reported recently released plans a very gloomy outlook for the future if we do not take action now. We must all work with all involved to increase climate ambitions, build resilience, and lower emissions. This involves looking at a number of concrete advantages since COP26 in Glasgow. Although $100 billion in conversation at COP26 did not materialize, leaving most forest nations disappointed with the initiative of French PNG has a country package under the framework of which specific climate programs can be devoted to for and assist rural communities. France has, through the European Union, funded some programs which the UK and Australia have sought to understand the initiative of how, or if they can also participate in this program, and this initiative requires multilateral support. Mr. Speaker, on trade, the economic diplomacy, we must look at the developments of the WTO. There has been many interesting developments. For the first time in 25-year history of the World Trade Organization was led by a woman since 2021, a testament to gender equality and the competitiveness of women in the global affairs. As nations seek to build back better from COVID-19, the war between Ukraine and Russia saw escalation in fuel costs, rising grain and food prices, and inflation on all these now further sustained by the war in the Middle East. Any further fuel supply disruption and price disorder will also, supply chain in the Middle East, would have further inflammatory pressure on the global economy. Mr. Speaker, equally, geopolitical tensions and geostrategic competition is also fueling tensions in the region. The region can only benefit from the geostrategic competition if it can have a voice on issues of regional interests that have to be met by competing powers. Mr. Speaker, the Marape Rosso government was formed after 2022 national elections at the back end of a devastating global pandemic and ongoing fight against climate change-induced effects and challenges. The global village was reeling from a crippling economic onslaught and was struggling to stimulate and spur growth and build back better from this unprecedented modern-day devastation from COVID-19. At the bilateral economic front, Japan broke its traditional development assistance records, and in the first of its kind, provided a highly concessional direct budget support of $285 million to the government of PNG to repay on a repayment debt of 0.001%. This loan was a grace period for 15 years, and the repayment will start at the beginning of the 16th year of the period of 20 years. Australia also supported Papua New Guinea in providing us with a support of 330 million in budget support, after Japan equally at a less concessional rate. These two countries were the first to come, and so did others later. The global village understood the devastation of two national production lines, supply chains, revenue across borders, household income constrictions, and agreed for global action to defer calls of sovereign debts and interests. Foreshadowing effort to build back a better and from the COVID-19 are the Ukraine-Russia war, and a year later Israel, Hamas and Iran and its proxies. Mr. Speaker, PNG closed its trade office in Taipei in April 2023, based solely on negligible returns to investment to the trade office. Subsequently, on the 5th of September 2023, Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, in presence of the Prime Minister of Israel, officially opened and established the PNG Embassy in the State of Israel in the city of Jerusalem. The regional landscape. At the regional level, we see growing strategic interest in the Pacific. Global warming, sea rising levels continue to threaten our survival of small island states in the Pacific. Pacific solidarity was also put to the test with proposed withdrawal of the Micronesian states from the Pacific Islands Forum, and then challenged around the Melanesian Spearhead Group, delaying the appointment of the new Director General. Mr. Speaker and this Honourable House, one positive that came out of this test in the Pacific unity is the reconciliation of PNG as a strategic, crucial regional member in the Micronesian President's Summit, appointed PNG Prime Minister Honourable James Marape as the interlocutor. It was an honour and privilege, according to PNG, according to us as well, to have our Prime Minister speak on behalf in finding compromise and a pathway forward. Also in 2021, with the diligent stewardship of the MSG senior officials meeting in PNG, the MSG Director General was appointed. An official announcement announced introduced the new sub-region group at the margins of the 51st PIF meeting in Suva, Fiji. PNG also handed down handed over the chairmanship of MSG to Vanuatu in PNG's traditional way, offering food, pigs, and each member country, Prime Minister Marape, handing over the traditional spear symbolising of guard and bestowing assurance to commitment to the common cause. In the premier regional organisation, the Pacific Island Forum also underwent some refocusing on issues affecting its membership. It came up with the Blue Pacific Continent, the establishment of the Blue Resilient Fund, and facility to support the cause of the Blue Continent and infrastructure. The region also saw, consistent with the Namur Accord and the conduct of the third referendum to determine the political future of New Caledonia. The results were not widely accepted in the region as the third referendum was conducted under COVID-19 travel restrictions. PNG was singled out by France for its role as the rapporteur at the United Nations Committee to Decolonization, often referred to as Committee of 24. Mr. Speaker, the Pacific Committee of Ambassadors at the United Nations unanimously agreed to fight for New Caledonia not to be delisted from the United Nations list of territories and decolonization. This was on the official records of the C24 and was met with opposition from France, who questioned PNG as a country to sign off on the official records of the C24 meeting outcomes. Mr. Speaker, we continually watch closely the political developments of the governments within our region as we meander through the region of international politics and the aim of creating strategic partnerships for the advancements of our mutual benefits. On the bilateral front, Mr. Speaker, we have had a number of institutionalised meetings. Australian Prime Minister visited in January 23. With Australia, we resumed in-person annual senior officials ministerial and leaders dialogue, alternating between our two capitals to host commencing after COVID-19 restrictions in 22. Prime Minister of Fiji, the Honourable Saviti Rambuka, came on a state visit to PNG in May 23, and the Indian Prime Minister Modi visited Papua New Guinea and boost India-PNG relations in May 21, 23. Visit of the US Secretary of State. The US Secretary of State visited Papua New Guinea at the back end of the FIPIC 3 meeting to sign 2 security agreements with PNG. The PNG-US Defence Cooperation Agreement and a Shipwriters Agreement. And to also have the US PIC leaders meeting at the back end of FIPIC meetings as well. The US Defence Secretary also made a historical visit to Papua New Guinea on the 26th of July 23, and the Indonesian President's state visit to Papua New Guinea on the 5th of July 2023. Recently, in an unprecedented move, PNG hosted the President-elect of Indonesia in an unscheduled meeting in July 2024 in Port Moresby. France President Emmanuel Macron had a historical visit to Papua New Guinea as well on 27th of July 2023. And Prime Minister Marape officially visited China on the 16th of October 23. And our Prime Minister Marape opened new missions in Israel on the 5th of September 23. And PNG attended the coronation of King Charles III on the 5th of May 2023. So you see, 2023 was a very productive and busy year when it came to diplomacy and our bilateral relationships. Mr. Speaker, this is a list of bilateral and multilateral meetings of engagements that PNG was involved with, detailed in the review report provided by Parliament. My ministry, which oversees the Department of Foreign Affairs, is a network of 21 diplomatic missions and consular posts in strategic locations around the world, zealously serve the interests of this country. In saying so, may I pay respect to our diplomats abroad for their hard work and dedicating their lives to promoting PNG's interest. Even in difficult times such as COVID-19, they held the fort in a wartime where we're still embedded in Jerusalem today. They have never deserted their posts, and I pay tribute to the entire PNG Foreign Service at headquarters and at PNG diplomatic missions and posts abroad. I thank you to the Marape Rosso government for taking back PNG and having taken back the PNG Foreign Service with prospects of a third straight year looking good, higher than ever before, budget allocations to consecutive years, making funding available for PNG to offset its membership arrears, with a voice now to represent PNG for approving SRC report number 38 that recognises adequately the PNG heads of missions and posts. Mr. Speaker, with constraints of our mission and posts, our diplomats continue to serve the country with pride. At the United Nations, we continue to work closely with the multilateral system to find conflicting prevention solutions, which, as in Bougainville, the Highland regions, and domestically, and in conflicts theatres such as in Europe, Middle East, and South China Sea. We air our climate change concerns and work with views relating to our Blue Pacific. Mr. Speaker, the Department of Foreign Affairs budget increase at home front, the recognition from the Marape Rosso government of importance work in foreign service through appropriate budget increments since 2022 has greatly increased and enhanced the Department's abilities to deliver on its mandated duties and managing PNG's international relations. Increasing funding has also enhanced the Department's manpower and capacity to appropriately staff all our missions and posts, as well as boost our human resource capacity at headquarters. This increased in personnel from 200 to 450 will most certainly enhance the Foreign Service capacity to better focus on government development agendas going forward. The new corporate plan 2023 to 27, which is being completed and is now operational, has strategically realigned the department's structure to its work plans to be more attuned to the changing dynamics of global politics, while also same time being responsive to NEC directives, thus giving effect to the relevant development guidelines such as Vision 50, MTDP and SDP 10 to 2030. The new structure, the new look Foreign Service has done with existing manpower, sealing with no additional cost to the government in personnel emoluments, as we increase to expand the foreign establishments and representation with the aim of increasing Foreign Service responsibility to respond to government development agendas with the slogan of providing nothing but the best, whilst appropriately utilising available human and capital resources. With the Foreign Policy White Paper, I thank everybody in all members of National Parliament and of course the Department of Foreign Affairs and everybody involved for passing the Foreign Policy White Paper the other day. It was an historical groundswell of support to our new foreign policy, and we look forward to implementing that over the next 50 years or beyond. But once again, it took nearly 40 years to get this done, and it was only done under the Marape Rosso government. So I thank them for their support, and I thank everybody in the chamber for their support. Recruitment process is underway, and we are an equal opportunity department, and we look forward and we work towards regional and gender balance. We recruit without nepotism or any other consideration. Training, we want to build a lasting, well-trained, dependable foreign service for the 21st century. We have partnered with the Victoria University to what was the PNG Foreign Service training program for over 5 years. But with the interest and inclusion of other Pacific Islanders, the program is now called the Pacific Island Foreign Service Training Program, with the inclusion of the regional government diplomats. The development also offers space for other government departments and agencies as well. The department is signed on with CILAG for the public service training, and JICA and ANU for postgraduate studies alone with foreign language training. Mr. Speaker, closer to home, our region has its own challenges too. We have elevating relations with MSG. PNG provides such assistance to Vanuatu for rehabilitation of the Memorial Kumu Highway, and continue to provide support to education, security, immigration needs for the Solomon Islands and to others such as Cook Islands, Tonga and Niue, for which receive funding assistance. In every aspect of PNG's engagement, it's always been advocated for the smaller Pacific Island countries of the region as well. When PNG talks to China, Japan, US and Indonesia, we always emphasize the fact that we are part of the Pacific, that we call it home. Challenges for the region are challenges as well for us and well for all. The region continues to suffer high levels of political and economic instabilities, coupled by climate-induced challenges. Mr. Speaker, in this complex international environment, our diplomacy is often tested by political issues, including the questions of Taiwan, Palestine, Kosovo, as well as human rights issues for West Papua, Xinjiang, and Hong Kong and Macau. These are political hotspots around the world, from Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Israel, Palestine conflict, civil war in Syria, North Korean crisis, tensions in the Korean Peninsula, territorial disputes of the South China Sea, and crisis in Myanmar, instability in Venezuela. Mr. Speaker, our perspective in respect to these issues will always be guided by the core tenets of our foreign policy approach: friends to all, enemies to none. This basic approach relies on principles of respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of other states, as well as non-interference in the affairs of others. We will not be dragged into quarrels of others, and we also expect others to respect the principles we stand for and not to place us in awkward situations. Let me Mr. Speaker, let me turn to the achievements of our bilateral diplomacy in the 9 months that I have been, during that 9 months I've been in office. Despite the challenging times, here we have had many positive developments which I wish to highlight to this Honourable House. To improve our capabilities in monitoring and surveillance, the Australians have also donated the new Guardian-class patrol boats. Australia is also working on the 32 million rail grid, standing by its decision for rural electrification. We value the partnership of Australia and will continue to work with them as partners on various national issues, especially relating to development and other regional and international issues. In February of 2023, a high-level consultation of SOM level were held. On the 14th of July, the Prime Minister James Marape, Honourable James Marape, met his new New Zealand counterpart, the former Prime Minister Jacinta Ardern. This meeting was concluded with the signing of the PNG New Zealand Statement of Partnership 21 to 24, and the signing of the statement partnership between our two countries will set a platform to enhance a bilateral relationship and partnership between PNG and New Zealand. In the past year, we have also facilitated official visit of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of New Zealand, Honourable Winston Peters, who's a close friend of PNG, to PNG, where he met the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and other ministers to discuss the importance, including Bougainville and rural electrification, amongst others. The United States is also a valued and important partner and is in major projects like rural electrification, Lombril Naval Base, amongst others. Other important bilateral partners is China. China's government has so far remitted RMB 15 million military aid and further 11 million to the Tarama Hospital upgrade. During my recent visit to China in June, the State Consular China Foreign Minister, Mr. Wang Yi, further pledged 150 million RMB of grant aid to PNG. We are now working to expedite the arrangement protocols to be signed between two countries. Cooperation between both sides continues to expand, and other initiatives are mutually agreed to between the two countries. This includes the Memorandum of Understanding for Marine Products to China and the MOU to develop Goroka Agro-Industrial Park and establishment of PNG Foreign Investment Initiative. Mr. Speaker, PNG values its bilateral relationship with many other countries in all regions and beyond. These include the Republic of Korea, France, India, Philippines, European Union, and the United Kingdom. In a nutshell, the Ministry and the Department is looking to strengthen its relations with the strategic partners and friends through high-level political dialogues, official visits, exchange, participation and representation at the international meetings and arrangements. Mr. Speaker, where there is a will, there is always a way. And I would like to believe that in spite of the intricate nature of challenges and compounding factors, there is hope that we can progress through reforms in policies, institutions, and invest in trade and economic opportunities. Mr. Speaker, in this contemporary era, there are challenges as well as opportunities. What is important is for us to conduct our foreign relations with prudent and financial management. I believe the Marape-Rosso government has mandated amicably, well through the indices of managing PNG's international relations, as evidenced by the increased number of visits by prominent world leaders to our shores, as well as the increase of levels of engagement and productive participation of PNG in bilateral and regional and multilateral forums. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by thanking the Marape Rosso government for its continuous support to the Foreign Service, PNG's Foreign Service, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Together, we can produce nothing but the best for our beloved PNG. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the debate be adjourned and set for an order of a subsequent sitting.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. The aye against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, business of the day. Clerk.
Order of the day number 131, Vacancy Bill 2025. Member for National Capital District. Second reading, resumption of debate from May 20.
Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Members of Parliament, I have a motion to move in relation to this matter. But before I move the motion, I just want to give a small, short background. Mr. Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament, notice number 131, as you all will see, is at the back of the last page of the notice papers, and it relates to the vagrancy bill. As the clerk has advised us, it's here for second reading, but by way of procedure, when I first introduced the proposed bill, it has to be referred to the Constitutional and Subordinate Legislation Committee. As a result of that, a number of issues were raised, especially from the Department of Justice and Attorney General, and we had to go through it to incorporate it into the proposed bill. So, by virtue of that discussion, the present bill as it is become a bit defective or obsolete, Mr. Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament. So for this reason, I am going to move that we will discharge this notice, and the clerk will introduce a new notice to introduce the revised bill, hopefully tomorrow. So with that, Mr. Assistant Speaker, members of the Honorable House, I move that the order of the day number 131 be discharged from the notice paper.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. The aye against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn till tomorrow 10 a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, I now adjourn the Parliament to tomorrow 10 o'clock a.m.